Well, hello all and welcome. I hope you're all doing well. Today is the 17th of November. It's about, I think it's about 5 weeks to Christmas, something like that. Won't time fly, eh? I'm out here sieving compost. The compost I'm sieving is my usual clover multi-purpose compost. I'm using a little seed tray sieve because I'm going to start and sow some onions. Now these are not just your normal Elsa Craig, Bedfordshire Champion, Kelsey and so on. Thanks to Dean, and Dean's Lost the Plot, and the information that he is readily available on his YouTube channel, I'm going to have a go at doing some large onions. Now these are capable, when you go on to the Foster's Seeds, go on to, I think it's down as exhibition seeds, I may be wrong, but when you go and have a look on their website, it says these are capable of being grown up to 8 kilogram in weight. Now I don't for 1 minute think I'll be able to grow anything that sort of size, but I'm going to have a go. And the reason I'm having a go this year, never really bothered any other year, is this year, thanks to you guys in YouTube land, I had some great success with growing onions from seed. So I thought, why not? We'll have a go at some of these big onions. So when I place my orders, obviously place for those as well. What I'm doing is I'm using these 3-inch, which is about 75 centimetre pots. They are going to go into heated propagator under some grow lights. I'll show you all that when we get inside, but for now I'm going to get and fill these. I'm going to put about 6-7 seeds in each. I've got 8 pots here, so what I may do is might just do 4. We'll see. I'll see what I do, and get these indoors and under the propagator. So I'm not going to bother boring you, showing you with regards sowing these seeds, but I'll bring you back and show you the setup in the house when these are all done. Okay, so that's the setup. This by the way is the water that I've used to water them. This has been in the house for about 2 days now, so it's got sort of got it up to the ambient temperature. The grow lights are T5 tubes. They're Garland T5s with a capillary matting. Normally you would fill this tank at the bottom with water, have the capillary matting, and it would, but I've not bothered doing that obviously because I've got a heated propagator underneath it. I've left the lid off because with the lid on it gets way too hot. At the moment it's 17.8. With the lid on it gets up to something like 22, 23, so it's way too warm. They are going to go under there. As I say, they've been watered with this water that's at ambient temperature to the room. They'll be left now. Obviously keep an eye on them, and if needs be, in 3-4 weeks time we'll get and sow some more if needs be. But just for a bit of fun, that's me having a go at growing some large onions. Well, I'm outside on the decking repurposing the Veg Trug. This is an aluminium one. I don't think Veg Trug do them anymore. I think they only do the wood ones. But this had strawberries in. You'll see some video of what it looked like before I got it to this stage. And basically what I've done is cleared the strawberries out. I've done some runners. I've trained some runners into some pots. So these will go into some other containers down the garden, and that is partly why I'm doing what I'm doing here. Because of where this is, the sun comes round that way, come from my left, comes around that way, and it's not really till about midday that this gets full sun. Now further down the garden I've got strawberry plants in pots, in some really big tubs, and they always do well. Every year they really do supply us with a good supply of strawberries. So I've trained some of the runners I've put into pots, as you've seen. They will go into tubs and they will join the others down the garden. And originally I was going to take this, empty this out, move it down the garden, but I thought to myself, why not use this for salads? I've got some spring onions that need to go into something, either round on the plot or, and plus the fact with this being fairly close to the house, it'll have a little bit of protection from any real frosts. And I thought, well, why not? I'll stick some salad crops in this. So as you've already seen, I've cleared the compost, cleared the plants out, cleared quite a bit of the compost out, put a bag of fresh compost in, and I'm now going to get and put some of these spring onions in. So I might try a sowing of some lettuce, maybe something like Marvel of 4 Seasons, or some winter density. I might just do a couple of drills down the side here, but I'll bring you back when I've got the spring onions in. Well, that's it, finished. As you've seen with me clearing it and then putting some fresh compost in, these are some Arctic King lettuce that I've got in some pots down by the side of the greenhouse. I've decided I'll pop them in there. These are Ishikura spring onions. I have got a few more. I did think about whether to put a few more in, but I'll leave them as they are, I think. And yes, it probably is the wrong time of year. I don't know whether these lettuce are going to do a lot of good. Spring onions will probably bulk up a little bit more, but I'm thinking of with the summertime more so with this. Part of the reason for doing what I've done is this had the, as I say, it had the strawberries in, and stood here, the sun comes round from my left and doesn't really get on here till around about midday, which isn't really the best for the strawberries. I've got some strawberries further down the garden that get a lot more sun than these were getting, and those down the garden really do give us a good harvest. Not to say that these haven't given us a harvest. We have had strawberries off these, But I thought, well, what could I do with this to possibly utilise it a little bit better? So I've taken the strawberries out, I've put runners into pots so that they can then go into some tubs to join the others down the garden. And then I thought I'll grow salad in this. So these are some spring onions that I'd got in a seed tray that I've now put out, and the same with these lettuce. And obviously come the summertime, we can have a rotation of spring onion and lettuce. They're the main salad things that we grow. I may put a row of carrots in as well next year. And another thing, it's only a thought, excuse me, it's only a thought, but I was thinking of maybe a cucumber plant at this end and train it up the wall. I've got a bracket there for a hanging basket. I could put a cane or string down and maybe train a cucumber up. Who knows? We'll see. That's all ifs, buts and maybes. Don't know yet. But yes, I just thought, well, repurpose this and try and put it to good use with growing a bit of salad, a few salad crops for mainly for next year, of course. Right, the onions. Today is Saturday the 20th of November. I've brought you back because I've got some issues that I'm somewhat concerned about, and I don't really know what to do for the best, to put it bluntly. Temperature wise, it's as you can see, 24, it's been maximum. It's currently 21.8 now under here, and that in itself is part of the issue that I've got. Because I've got these grow lights, which are T4 tubes, they're giving off, if you put your hand under there, and they're quite warm. I mean, you can touch them, but there's some warmth coming off them. And I'm thinking that because I've got them on, because I've got this propagator base here on, I think things are getting a bit too hot, because these these plant pots were drying out, and I've been watering them for a couple of days. I've now since put them into a tray with some water in it. What I also did at the same time was I'd sown some more in 4 more pots and put them just sort of on the grow light setup. So what I'm thinking of doing now, because obviously with this things are getting too hot, I mean, you know, that sort of temperature is way too hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off. I've got some more capillary matting. We'll take that off. I'll put a new piece of matting in, fill the tank up, and then I'll put all these just on the capillary matting, and I'll use the ambient temperature. The house is 17 degrees anyway, so I'm just use the ambient temperature from within the room and obviously off the lights, and we'll go from there. I would like some advice, if possible, please, from anybody, if they can tell me whether that will be, because as I say, with this as it is and them sort of numbers, that's, to me, that's too hot. It says about them being just 18 degrees, I think, maximum. I know if I'd got a Vitapod, I'd better set it up spot on and so on, but I haven't got a Vitapod. I can't afford a Vitapod, not a Vitapod with light setup and so on. So I'm making do with what I've got. So as I say, to repeat myself, and sorry repeating, but I'm going to do away with that. I'm going to take that out, new capillary matting, fill the tank with water, and just have the pots on there with the lights giving what extra little bit of heat is needed will come off those lights, because they do get quite warm. But as I say, if anybody can give me a bit of advice to help with this sort of thing, I'm going to keep this under under here, what I'll do is just drop it across a corner, so it'll give me an idea then of the temperatures. But yes, if anybody can give me a bit of advice as well and think that what I'm going to do is a good idea, that'd be brilliant. But yeah, I'm struggling a little at the moment with sorting out these big giant onions. So there we go. Sorry to keep labouring on, but I'm a bit concerned. I want to get this right. I've just put capillary matting down and I've just wet it. I've filled the tank by pouring the water over the matting, so that it will now obviously should work properly. And I've put the pots under there now, and I'll see how things go. What I might do with this is just set it up now. Just set it up there like that, I think, just so that I can have a glance and it will give me temperatures, because the other thing that we've got to think about is that heating gets turned on and off in the house as well. So yeah, as I say, sorry to bore you all and sort of labour a point a bit going on, but yeah, I'm going to try it that way now and see how they do. I'm not expecting to see any germination for another 3 or 4 days anyway. As I say, I did them the 17th, today's 20th, so going to be a good week at least, but we'll see how things go, and I'll try it from there. Well, that's it for this one. Thank you all very much for watching. No, I'm not going to mention anything about onions and onion seeds, so don't worry. The Veg Trug outside, that I'm glad I've shall we say, repurposed that. I don't know how well. I mean, I've just seen the forecast for next week, and they're on about frosts and possible snow, so I could be on a hide into nothing with what I've done there. But the thing is, it's sorted and it's ready now for next year. And again, as I've said, I can carry on doing some lettuce, do some spring onions, the cucumber up. I think that's quite a good idea. And another thing I've thought about is some little tumbler type tomatoes. Could have them growing off one end, or one in each corner, or whatever, you know, row across the front. You know how it is. So that'll be something a little bit different. Something else that I want to show you as well. Peppers. Remember me, this is some seed. Those of you that don't know, sorry, but I've got to bore everybody. These are some seed that was saved from a rather large pepper that came in a meal deal, shall we say. I saved the seed, sown them early on in the year to see if they were viable, and they produce quite tall plants. I've cut them back, and as you can see, they're doing really well. And all as these are, they're not under my grow lights or anything. These are just on the window ledge in the same room where the grow lights are, but they're just on a window ledge, and I turn them every couple of days, keep them watered, and looks like I'm going to be able to overwinter these after all. So it's going to be interesting to see how these are doing. But I just thought, those of you that are interested, I'd just show you how we're getting on with there was 5 I've done. All 5 are a-okay. These aren't necessarily the best of the bunch, but these are 2 of the same size, and they're doing, as you can see, I need say no more, they are doing spot on. So as I've said, thank you all very much for watching. It really is very much appreciated, and thank you new subscribers. That's really great. That's really good. So be good, look after yourselves, look after each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra a bit.